Welcome to another installment of Incorporation Tips. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal. And in this particular video, we'll be discussing the importance of having sufficient share classes. So when we talk about sufficient share classes, we're talking about having more than simply one or two classes of shares. Because oftentimes you'll see a company having simply one set of common shares and one set of preference or special shares. And this can prove problematic in a number of fronts. Number one, you might want to be doing tax planning eventually. You might want to be bringing on other shareholders and have those new shareholders control to a certain degree, or have different share arrangements, which is best reflected in the share classes. And the only issue is that you can still do that by amending the articles, but there you go again. Another additional cost down the road, and something that has to be processed and can take time. And the fact of the matter is, oftentimes people either fail to think about it, or they need to do it quickly, and they can't wait for the government system to process the paperwork, because these articles of amendment do take some time. And it can impose problems. So let's say at the end, you're getting close to the end of the tax year, you go over to your tax accountant. Tax accountant says, well, if you had another class of shares, we could do this kind of tax planning. But then you look at your articles of incorporation and say, we only got these shares of classes. Not sufficient for it. So what do we have to do? File papers, send them in, and hope that the government processes them quickly? Never a good thought. And on top of it, you're paying an additional cost associated with it, which oftentimes dissuades people from making those changes. So those are considerations you have to have in mind, especially when at the outset you could have made that, and it just simply takes the time. Maybe you're working with a lawyer, get it done correctly the first time out, and avoid having to go down the road of additional costs and additional problems in the future. So that's why we strongly recommend having sufficient share classes when you incorporate at the outset. Thank you.